Life doesn't come with a guidebook on how to relate to one another perfectly. How can we offer the compassion and grace needed for deeper connection? What's up, my EFF? Let me tell you how it is. You've just stumbled upon God Jots, a series about the nature of love, compassion, joy, and the real-life connection between human beings. I'm Ender Bowen, Nashville, Tennessee rock pop artist, author, husband, father, complete dork, and aspiring compassionist. Sit back, relax, and be prepared to laugh, cry, maybe even learn a thing or two about feline biology, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, how dare you try to compare a dislocated finger to a broken femur? You have no idea what I'm going through. You're so insensitive, I said, politely. Oh, no, they stammered as they shook their head. I just mean, with the x-ray machine and all of that. And so on and so on. Trying to compare something so trivial to the pain I'm in. You should be ashamed of yourself. And boy, did they look it. Then again, maybe that wasn't shame. Maybe that was something else. Because they just shook their head in disappointment, turned right around and walked straight out the door, leaving me there, alone, with a broken femur, which absolutely did not feel anything like a dislocated finger, or so I assumed. To a certain degree, I suspect this is a scenario that you've encountered. You share a deeply personal or painful experience or talk about a very difficult struggle only to be met with responses that fall short of offering the comfort or understanding you had hoped for. Maybe they say something that feels dismissive or unrelated. Oh gosh, I went through a similar thing with my cat. I'm sorry about your mother. Maybe they jump into a story about their own experiences, as if it can match or explain what you're feeling. Hey, when my college girlfriend and I broke up after 2 years, that felt a lot like a divorce. She took my cat. In moments like this, it's easy to assume the worst. You think they're trivializing your pain or misunderstanding you or even disinterested. Yet, what if that isn't the case at all? What if, instead of minimizing your struggles, they're genuinely trying to relate? Maybe, just maybe, they're offering the best they can from where they stand, from the lens of their own life experiences. Hey, look, before we get a little too deep into all this stuff, I just want to let you know, if you like this shirt, you can find this one and a whole bunch more like it at godjotstore.com. Look, here's the thing. People can only relate as far as their own experiences. That doesn't mean they don't care. It doesn't mean they're intentionally dismissive or unaware of the gravity of what we're sharing. It just means that their empathy is limited by the scope of their own understanding. Hey, life is messy. We all walk different paths with life is totes messy. We all walk different paths with highs and lows and joys and sorrows that uniquely shape who we are. This individuality, while beautiful, it can create some barriers in understanding. No two people will ever fully understand each other's experiences because they're not living in each other's shoes. But in our moments of vulnerability, we often expect the impossible. We expect others to fully grasp what we're going through, to give us the right words or actions that make everything feel validated. I mean, if you're married, this is kind of an everyday occurrence, right? And when they don't, disappointment settles in. We think, how could they not get it? How could they say something so off base? I don't even think a cat has a femur. The problem, though, it isn't always with them. Sometimes it's our own expectations or our surprisingly limited knowledge of feline biology. We hold others to a standard of empathy that may not be fair given their life experiences. Their ability to support us is inherently shaped by their story, not ours. Like, come on! I want it to be about me! Okay, Supri. This can create friction in relationships, can it? When we share our pain, sadness, or even joy, we want to be heard and understood. We crave that deep, resonant connection where someone says, I get you, boo. But often, what we get instead is a reply that feels far removed from our own emotional state. A reply that doesn't touch the depth of what we're feeling. This misunderstanding can breed resentment. We start to distance ourselves emotionally, thinking that the person on the other side, they don't care, they don't understand. Or in some cases, we use this misunderstanding as a means to separate ourselves further from someone we're already angry with, or someone we're opposed to. The truth, however, might be something far more compassionate in nature. That person on the other side might not be insensitive after all. They may not be trying to belittle you. They They might be doing the best they can with the emotional tools that they have. They might actually be trying to connect with us using the only reference point they know, their own life. Okay, so what if we shifted our perspective? What if, instead of reacting with frustration or disappointment, or with the assumption that they're trying to be hurtful, we took a step back and considered that maybe they're genuinely trying to understand us? Maybe they're doing their best to navigate the conversation, to offer comfort or connection from a place that's familiar to them. This isn't about lowering our standards for meaningful communication or accepting subpar empathy. It's about recognizing that people, in their essence, are limited by what they've known and what they've felt. Their responses are shaped by the framework of their own experiences. When someone tries to relate to us by offering a story of their own, even if it doesn't quite match the gravity of our own situation, it's their way of saying, I'm here. I felt something similar, and I want you to know you're not alone. They may not be able to fully grasp the nuance of our pain, but they're reaching out in the best way that they know how. Instead of dismissing these attempts, we can embrace them as acts of care. Yes, even when they're coming from people we think wouldn't care. We can choose to give them the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they don't have the right words, but they're trying to show up for us in the only way that they know how. When we shift our focus from what they didn't say to the intent behind their words, we open up new possibilities for connection. We create space for empathy and compassion, even when it doesn't come wrapped in the exact package with the bow that we expect. That can actually be kind of a fun and unexpected little gift to open. So, how do we put this into practice in our own relationships? Well, it begins with reframing. When someone responds to us in a way that doesn't quite hit the mark, instead of immediately feeling disappointed or misunderstood, we can pause. Take a moment to ask ourselves, what are they really trying to say? Are they trying to relate, even if it doesn't quite fit? What's this whole cat thing about? Giving others the benefit of the doubt is an act of grace. It's acknowledging that we're all human and we're all doing our best to navigate the complexities of life and relationships. This doesn't mean we shouldn't seek deeper understanding or more meaningful connections. It means we allow room for imperfection. We can also communicate our needs more clearly. If we're feeling unheard or misunderstood, instead of withdrawing or getting defensive, we can gently explain what we need. Hey, I appreciate that you're trying to relate, but I really just need someone to listen right now. And also, by doing this, we bridge the gap between their experience and our own. It's also helpful to remember that compassion is a skill, one that some people naturally excel at while others may need more practice. Not everyone will know how to hold space for us in the way we desire, but if we can see their efforts as genuine, even if imperfect, we can foster healthier, more understanding relationships. And think about the fun conversations and stories that can open up, the new things you can learn about a person. Ultimately, none of us are immune to the limitations of our own experiences. We all approach others with a set of assumptions shaped by our own lives. When we extend grace to others, we're also extending it to ourselves. We're admitting that just as they may struggle to fully understand us, we too might not always get it right when the roles are reversed. No, I never broke my femur, but I did once dislocate this finger. In the end, relationships aren't about perfect understanding. They're about mutual effort, kindness, and the willingness to keep showing up for one another, even when the road to connection is a little rocky. It's about giving people, even those you wouldn't think could or should, the opportunity to surprise you. When we give others the benefit of the doubt, we create a space for empathy, however flawed, can grow into something more beautiful and meaningful than we might have first imagined. Look, life doesn't come with a guidebook on how to relate to one another perfectly, but with patience, communication, compassion, and the grace to let others try, even if they don't always get it right, we can foster deeper, more resilient connections. So the next time someone doesn't quite seem to get it, pause. Consider their heart. Give them the benefit of the doubt. After all, they're only human, just like you. All right, you made it this far. Now it's your turn. Have you ever had an experience like this before? If so, from which perspective? Or have you experienced it from both? What was that like? Additionally, within the context of today's cultural and political division, how might you implement the suggestions in this episode to better offer grace and understanding to the people on the other side? I would love for you to share your thoughts about this episode with my growing community of aspiring compationists. Find out how to join us on Discord by going to enderbowen.com/Discord. If you like this episode and want to be notified when new ones are uploaded, make sure you don't leave without hitting that subscribe button, or subscribe to God Jots on your favorite podcast streaming service. You can also check out more God Jots, as well as subscribe to the mail list for ebooks, updates, and exclusive content at guidejots.com. Until next time, be honest with yourself, be truthful with others, give people the opportunity to surprise you, and remember that it's impossible to have absolutely nothing in common with another human being. Be a little light in the world. I'm sure I'll see you soon.